Hello, listener. My name is Indrid Cold. What were you hoping to hear? A podcast about creatures or the unexplained from two suspiciously qualified individuals? I know you were. I've been watching these two for long enough. Let's listen in as Dave and Austin take you on the tour of the inspirations and theories behind pop culture's most interesting monsters. Welcome to the Cryptid Cast.
And she looked up and she said, when I seen them big red eyes, she said, we were out of there. Can't tell you what the rest of it looks like.
My mama said it was worse than the Frankenstein monster.
Hey, I don't know if this thing is spraying the market's territory or if it's just spraying when it gets mad like a skunk would.
Hello and welcome to the Cryptid Cast. My name is Dave Chaffins, the card-carrying cryptozoologist, and joining me is my favorite son of a Mothman, Austin O'Connor. How you doing, Austin?
I'm good. I'm doing great.
You're doing great.
I just interrupted the intro 4 times in a row.
Yes.
The things that people won't hear.
That people won't hear.
I ruined the intro.
These are the things that were lost in the edit. There was a
Yeah.
lot of editing I had to do last week.
A lot of editing between us sometimes.
I
think that we...
the things that we don't say.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like hours and hours of editing, you know. we just like...
Yeah.
We make it so that the conversations flow perfectly.
But no, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
I guess it wouldn't be very on brand for me if I didn't comment on how hot it is outside still.
I think that's a perfect thing. I think now here's the thing. Now here's the theory.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't say that, then I would suspect that there's a doppelganger in our midst or a skinwalker of some sort. And
Man, our last episode, I said too much. They got me.
they got you, and now they
I had to
replaced you.
go. I had to go for reconditioning.
You had to go for reconditioning to
Yeah.
go to the overseers thing,
Yeah,
Or
whatever it was.
whatever it was. Yeah,
I tried. I was respectful last week, but now I don't really. I'm just gonna crack some jokes. I don't really care
Let's
anymore.
crack some old jokey jokes, just having a joking around, good old time.
For those of you who don't know, Martin kicked me out.
They did. Yeah, well, they
Kicked
kicked
us all
everybody
out.
out right now.
I know, but I'm still taking it personally.
They,
I think it was a personal attack to me.
So the subreddit that we covered last week is now private as of recording. It might be
Well, the
back
day
live.
after the episode came out, they had posted about our episode in the subreddit.
Yeah, which it was funny because it wasn't like I intentionally was like, I'm curious if they'll be able to find it.
They found it pretty quick.
Yep.
I was shocked. They had to have had like Google alerts or something going
gotta
on
have something going.
because that was really fast.
Yeah. So
But-
we've been in a contact with some of the people as well as Alex, who is not here today.
Yeah.
He's obviously under reconditioning right now. But right now it is private. The mystery will continue to remain, I suppose, a mystery. Although I did have a resource reach out to me recently named Norman, who it's a fake name.
Norman.
Norman reached out to me and gave me some information on the Freemasons, some interesting things about the Freemason conspiracy. So I'm interested to get with Norman here soon and explore more of the Freemason conspiracy and pour one out for Dick P.
Old Dick Prendergast.
That's his name. Yes, Dick Prendergast. We learned that.
We learned the mystery. The mystery was revealed to us.
And then one of our listeners looked up Richard Prendergast on like some of the different like New Zealand sites and couldn't find anyone named Richard Prendergast. But
I got to give it to them. It's a great narrative. It's
fantastic.
a great story.
It's wonderful.
I think we both have concluded as well as Alex. I think all three of us concluded that
It's like
it was just all. It's clearly
amazing.
It's not real.
But it's
Fun though.
It's still great.
It's really fun
Still
read. I think whoever did it, very well thought out. It's a fun ride. Everything has to come to an end. All
Right.
good things must end.
Right.
Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened.
Right.
This is the way I like to live.
And if you were a listener on the first, this is the benefit of listening on the first week. This is my ad. We're gonna cover stuff, and you may not know. You may not know how time sensitive this stuff is, and now this is gone.
It was about a week.
Yep.
Time sensitive a week, and it was gone. you won't get to read it.
Which is what we all theorized would happen.
Yeah, we actually literally said,
We
I bet
literally-
this will be gone.
We were like, I bet this when this comes out, they're gonna end up like just deleting everything. And
Well, you know, we're good at what we do. It's cool. It's fine. It's whatever. But yeah, it's really hot outside. Back to that. It's very warm.
what did you get into here recently? What have you been doing?
Just kind of traveling all over the place, like always. It
Yeah.
seems.
Well, I mean, we went to a festival together.
We went to the Mothman Festival.
We went to the Mothman Festival.
Good time. Lots of cosplaying.
It was incredibly crowded.
Yeah, it wasn't nearly as hot as last year. It was actually
not.
very comfortable.
It was very comfortable.
I was
weather.
shocked.
I was amazed.
But there were a lot of people. It was impossible to walk, which is good. I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
But when we left, that traffic going
coming
into
off the
town,
interstate, it was like backed up all the way in the interstate.
yeah, it was pretty
yikes.
rough. But that's good. A lot of people going to the festival. It seems to be growing.
I'm curious how they're going to evolve that for more people as the Mothmania continues.
Yeah,
what
they're gonna
gonna-
have to change some sort of traffic pattern, or they're gonna have to prepare for that better because
Yeah.
that was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Even when we got there early, and we had to park pretty far away, and the traffic was already picking up. So I don't know, but it was fun. A lot of people dressed up as a lot of different things that I didn't pertain to the Mothman, but I was,
I was there for it.
saw Negan, saw like three
Saw
Negans.
Negan. Yeah, we saw like 3 Negans. Yeah, that's good.
There was some guy just dressed up as I saw a Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, dude
saw
just dressed up as Freddy Krueger.
Jason. There were a lot of Men in Black. That obviously does pertain
Yeah.
to it.
And,
But
and a lot of them were the same as last
last
year. I
year,
don't know.
dedicated though, they would just kind of stand in the middle of the street with their hands crossed in front of them, just
Mm-hmm.
staring off into the distance.
My favorite moment was when we milled around and ate and looked at some of the different stuff, but we watched a costume contest, and there was this
Yeah.
little kid that was in like the real young ones, and he was dressed up like a little vault dweller.
Yeah.
And they were like, "All right, we're gonna do the cool." And they had like the one thing is they had too many categories for the contest.
Yes,
like
it was a bit
the cutest one and the coolest one but it was for each age group.
Yeah, so there were it was very kind of awkwardly set up.
I wish that they would just do the age groups and give out like first, second, and third place.
Yeah, just
give you
get
3
it over with,
awards.
yeah.
Call it a day.
It really dragged on a bit.
It really dragged on.
But the questions, you didn't really know. You know what? Kids say the darndest things.
yes, because this little kid that was dressed up like a vault dweller, everybody was like, "Where are you from?" And it was like, "Oh, I'm from Milton, West Virginia," or I'm from Huntington. And they hand this kid the mic, and they're like, "Where are you from?" And he goes, "The vault."
He's fresh out of the vault.
Yeah.
And then he like crossed his arms. It was kind of like one of those deal with it memes where like the sunglasses
fresh out
drop,
of the vault.
like the sunglasses
Deal
drop
with it.
down and like the doobie like
Yep.
floats into his mouth.
Yep.
It was like one of those. But no, it was
delightful.
cool. We had some pretty good barbecue.
Yeah, they had a good food truck.
It
They
was
always have
good.
good food, I think.
I feel like the food was there were more options this year, I think, than
I
last
think
year.
that we experienced the curse of Chief Cornstalk, though.
Yeah.
The amount of bees.
God, there were so many bees. Or they were yellow jackets.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Every time we sat down to eat, there were like 3 of them flying
Yes.
around. So, but it was fun. You wanted to take a picture with Cornstalk statue. I refused because
Yeah.
I'm not about that. I think if he's listening, Chief Cornstalk, I'm sorry that we even thought about taking a picture with your statue. I would not disrespect you like that.
So if you don't know, Chief Cornstalk put a curse on the town of, or allegedly,
No, it ain't allegedly.
put a curse on the town of Point Pleasant, which created a number of different problems for it over the years, including Mothman. Which is Mothman a problem or is Mothman the solution?
It was not allegedly.
It was.
He was like Kobe dropping 82 in one game. That was like his MVP performance was that curse because it's still happening. I don't know. I don't like crossing bridges into Point Pleasant. I do not like
don't
it.
like it. Not one bit.
Not a fan. Not a fan
Not one
at
bit.
all. And then when they had that traffic on the bridge going in when we left, not a fan of that either. Nope. Not me.
Too many people.
Too many cooks.
As they say in Martin, New Zealand, there's too many eyes on this.
Yeah.
Which is
My
a
bloody-
comment. There's too many eyes on
My
this.
bloody phone's ringing off the hook. I saw that all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, who's calling you, bro?
My buddy Guy Williams,
Dick
New
P.
Zealand Today. Which I watched more of his videos, and I enjoyed.
He
his
is
videos.
delightful.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed his videos particularly. I don't know. There's like a New Zealand kind of feels like West Virginia in a way.
It does. I could see that.
Just like the way that they were talking about, like he did a whole segment where they were bringing cell phone service to like this community, and it was like they all have internet, but he's like, "What are you gonna do when you have cell phone service?" And they're like, "Not a damn thing. What are you gonna do?"
Wow.
Yeah.
He's funny though. I like him a lot. But yeah, so we went to that. I went to the Marshall game this last weekend. We got destroyed by Cincinnati. It's cool.
We're all here.
We're all here.
I can't tell you.
We all had fun.
I can't tell you what's happening in the wide world of sports
Yeah.
other than I 100% support the Kentucky Galaxy.
The Frankfurt
The Kentucky
Galaxy from overseas.
The Kentucky Galaxy.
Germany.
The Kentucky Galaxy.
Okay. Well,
Colonel Sanders here.
I will send them.
Saying I support
I will send your regards to
the
them.
Kentucky Galaxy.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm ready for fall. We're getting some fall color, but the temperatures aren't really dropping.
I wouldn't say we're getting fall color. I'd say that it's all really hot and really dry, and the leaves are just like slowly turning just brown.
Well, here's the good news. I think this is my prediction. I think we're going to get some rain.
Yeah?
I think it's going to be a miracle. I think we're going to get some rain. I think
Miracle.
a lot of places in West Virginia right now do have fall color because they haven't had a drought. I think it's going to turn around.
You're optimistic.
I went up to some of the higher elevations last week. I was up around like 4,500 to 4,800 feet above sea level, and it was beautiful. Reds and oranges and yellows and
All
everything.
kinds of stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's going to catch up.
So did you do a
say.
sacrifice to the fall gods? Did you like get your Ugg boots out and pour a pumpkin spice latte over them and then like
Yes.
stab them with like a
Yes.
turkey foot or something?
All of the above.
Okay.
I am ready. I am pumped. I am just giddy for fall.
Well, I'm giddy about fall, but before we even talk about fall, let's cue the sound effect. Have you ever watched The Conjuring?
No.
So I've never made you watch The Conjuring?
No. I
Okay.
don't mess with demons.
You don't mess with demons whatsoever. So The Conjuring is a movie that is one of my favorite horror movies. It's got Patrick Wilson, who's delightful in just about everything that he does.
Yeah.
It's popular. If you like Annabelle, I suppose.
I
one of
don't mess
those.
with that either.
Annabelle. So all those movies are based off of these real demonologists. So they're like real people, but it's just like done up for the movies. It's like a dramatization of these things that actually happen to them. So this particular story is about these two demonologists, the Warrens, fighting Bigfoot.
Okay.
The Warrens had apparently been contacted by a news reporter at the same time who said something in the wilds of Tennessee had been menacing terrified locals in a poverty-stricken area way out in the boondocks. The witnesses had said that their tormentor was none other than the legendary giant hairy wild man called a Bigfoot. And although Tennessee is actually quite a hotbed for Bigfoot sightings, the Warrens had never been particularly interested in investigating the creature until then. The Warrens headed out to the heavily wooded backwater hill country.
That was tough.
Now, I tried to get through that. To check it out, the area where the sightings had occurred was described as little more than a collection of flimsy shacks without running water and with lights provided by a single electric wire that meandered through. Lorraine, who's the I suppose the psychic, and Patrick is more Patrick Wilson. that's not his name. But Lorraine, who's the more psychic one, says she felt very sorry for these people and their abject poverty and wanted to do something to help them. So the Warrens spent the day asking them about what they thought and what they had seen. Among many reports, one of the residents claimed that just the day before, a massive ape-like beast had appeared from behind a tree and tried to grab a 2-year-old child, after which it was chased away by men with clubs. and the whole settlement was completely terrified of whatever that was. The Warrens went about venturing out into the surrounding wilderness to investigate. The landscape of the area was described as nothing but vast hills and forests so impenetrable they seemed beyond the reach of civilization. And the next morning when they headed out, the thick trees were wreathed in ethereal fog to lend its rather otherworldly, dreamlike ambience. The Warrens had their team headed out into the murky wilderness and spent most of the day uneventfully climbing about and struggling through the brush. But this would change when they stopped for a rest at a clearing around 4:30 p.m. They first noticed that something had smashed down the tall grass, and that was when Lorraine claimed to have seen the beast and even made telepathic contact with it. Quote, he did, in fact, appear to be a fusion of man and ape, a tall, slope-shouldered animal with very long arms that were covered with almost shaggy hair. His face was flat and with a protruding, bony shelf above the eyes. Two things about him were especially disturbing. First, his eyes, which were shown with intelligence, compassion, and fear. Second, his ability to project images telepathically into Lorraine's mind. Not so dumb. No so-called dumb animal is able to accomplish such projections. Lorraine instantly knew that she was dealing with a creature who, despite his fearsome and ugly appearance, was not the prehistoric beast most people assume him to be. Lorraine would claim that the creature had sent a flurry of images and emotions into her head like a projector onto a screen, including it standing in a cave by a river with a family of similar creatures. I suppose that's like Harry and the Hendersons. And an image of an injured foot, which it somehow conveyed was keeping it from seeing its family again, as well as waves of feeling of isolation and sadness. It's all rather speculative account and also interesting, and it fits with similar reports of telepathic Bigfoot, which are more common than you think. What was it Lorraine saw? Was it even real in any sense at all? Ed Warren, her husband, would later speculate that Bigfoot was not even flesh and bone creature at all, but rather a tulpa, also known as a thought form. The concept originally comes from Tibetan Buddhism and it basically involves a visible construct entirely from the mind and belief of human beings, basically willed into being. With enough will and thought, they are even said to be able to take on a life of their own, become a sort of independent apparition that can exist apart from its creators and can be seen and even interacted with in the world around them. So tulpas. Are you familiar with tulpas at all?
No.
No. How do you feel about all this? What's your reaction?
That was something. That was definitely something.
Getting some telepathic images from Bigfoot.
I keep coming back to why is nobody filming anything?
Why?
Why?
They've got a team of people in the 70s.
I don't know. Is that when that was?
I think they were active in the 70s and 80s.
Oh, okay. I for some reason thought that was recent.
No.
I completely.
This is just an old story.
Yeah. For some reason I kept thinking that was now.
Right.
But I don't know. Telepathic. Sure. I don't know.
So my thought is for Mothman, as we always bring it back to Mothman. If we thought about Mothman hard enough and long enough, then Mothman would appear.
See, I don't think so because I think about him all the time.
But so wait a second. How often do you think about him?
Every waking second of every day, I'm thinking about Mothman.
Mothman. I wake up.
Yeah.
I think about Mothman. I eat breakfast. I think about Mothman.
If
it's
that
like
were
girl.
true,
You remember that old YouTube video? The girl that's like doing the eHarmony profile, and she's like, "I love cats."
Yeah. She starts crying.
Every kind of cat.
Yeah, that's
and
me.
She's like, so anyway, I'm a cat lover. And I like to run. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about cats.
She's starts crying. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm thinking about cats
I'm a
again.
Mothman lover.
No, it's like I wake up and I think about those big red eyes, and I'm trying not to. I'm fine. I'm fine.
You like to run.
I just keep thinking about those wings, and he's just so cute. And no, but I So if we think about Mothman hard enough, is that make him a corporeal being?
That's like any kind of like tulpa. The only like piece of media that I can think that deals with it is Twin Peaks, which I'm probably like that's like I can at any point of the show can be like, oh yeah, Twin Peaks, Twin Peaks, whatever. Specifically mentions like thought forms and like beings, like so the villain in that, spoiler alert, is a tulpa. That's like a thought form, and that's like a thing in Tibetan Buddhism that is like it's part of the mysticism part of that.
Yeah.
I just thought that was a very like weird little story of these people go out in the woods and she has a psychic encounter with
and that
Bigfoot.
it's very specific. The psychic encounter, the fact that he projected his family and then his foot being hurt. It's very weird. It also sounds like she was very, very high on something.
Well, she's like an experienced, and so like she's done all of these different things, and so this is like, I mean, this is like a side quest, you know?
Yeah.
Like this is like.
Well, I mean, I think personally, do I think that there is something Bigfoot-esque out there somewhere or was? Yes. I don't believe most of these encounters that people talk about, though.
I think that there is a high possibility that there could be a Bigfoot-ish creature, like because just think about how much of the world that we don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of forests. There's a lot of weird stuff that could happen. There's a lot of weird animals that could be. They're still discovering stuff. So maybe
it's like, have we even all been to every corner of West Virginia?
Yeah, it's like some of the hills probably people still have never
actually
walked up through. And, yeah.
So, and if they have, I mean, it's probably been like 300, 400 years.
Yeah, like it's there are hills in West Virginia, North Carolina, all through the Appalachian Mountains, the Rockies, different mountain ranges in America that I'm sure people don't go. Mm-hmm. We don't know what's there. There could be something 20 miles from here that we don't even know what's there.
I mean, Sheep Squatch is a great example.
Mm-hmm. So who knows? I think a lot of the reports are made up, but I do believe that there is something out there that exists like that.
I think it was interesting that they're like, we're going to go look for Bigfoot. Oh, we found Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Actually, we didn't find Bigfoot. We found a thought form who was telepathically communicating with us. It's like, once we've gone down that pathway, it's like, okay, sure. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We'll give you that one.
Yeah.
We'll give you that one.
Yeah.
Why not?
So, but yeah, it's interesting, I guess. I don't know. Not really buying it, though.
Well, what's your experience with telepathy? Have you ever met somebody who can do some mind reading, or have you ever gone to a seance or like a psychic?
You ever seen the movie Matilda?
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
That's my experience with telepathy. That's it. But it's a good movie.
That's good.
Used to have a crush on Miss Honey. Still do, actually.
Still do. Still do.
Still
Some things
strong.
never change.
Some things never change.
With that, we will get into an ad from our sponsors.
Have you given Robots Roundtable a shot yet? This is the new show where the hosts from the Robots Radio Network podcasts, all of your favorite hosts, get together every week and they talk a little bit more deeply about some of the things going on in the games and the things that they're enjoying recently. So if you're looking for a fun show talking about games, entertainment with all of your favorite hosts, and also a really wacky competition at the end of each episode, give Robots Roundtable a shot. It's available on iTunes and Spotify and basically everywhere.
Can we talk about something that's very near and dear to my heart?
Yeah. We can.
The Ghostbusters movies. That's what I want to talk about.
When there's something strange in the neighborhood, who you gonna call?
You know what my favorite part about that song is? That it took me years to realize.
Okay, yeah. What's your favorite part about that song?
It's a great song. It's like, it's a tradition. Like, it's great. You can listen to it all year, but around Halloween, you'll hear it all the time, blah, blah, blah. Ray Parker Jr. Went to the studio one day and decided that in this song, he's going to yell, "Bustin' makes me feel good." And he just put it in there. He just put it in the song, and he left it there, and it's 2019, and it's still there. He just goes, "Bustin' makes me feel good" at the end of the song.
What does that even mean?
It could mean so many things.
I mean, I
but
feel like
I
it's
just
like
love
that Blades of Glory reference that nobody knows what it means. But
I
it's
mean, I
provocative.
can think of things that I
Yes.
think it's funny and what it means, but you know, he could have just like in the rhythm, he could have said "Ghost bustin' makes me feel good," but no, he just said "Bustin' makes me feel good." Yeah, so shout out to. I mean, that's a legendary move by Ray Parker Jr.
Name me a better theme song. Name me.
Personally, there's Ghostbusters. I can think of that, and then in Matilda when it's like "On the way, do 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 do, all the way." That I think that's good.
Okay.
That's another Matilda reference.
Not like you're not going to like Harry Potter or like Star Wars.
Well,
or,
okay, so like Ghostbusters, like it literally, like it's like their song.
yeah,
And
it's like their
then-
theme song. It's like if they were to come out to the plate to hit the ball with a bat. You know how you do in the game of baseball.
Yeah,
they would play that.
a walk-up song.
A walkout
Yeah.
song. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well,
you
I
know,
don't
I'm so versed in sports. I just know these things.
But no, yeah,
you know?
Ghostbusters. That was. I don't know, but I love the Ghostbusters movies.
I remember that when we went to the Mothman Festival the first time, we saw the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yes,
And you like had like a like I could tell like you freaked out a little bit, but like
Yeah.
in your brain it just like you were so excited.
I was a little
It was
kid
like,
again. At
you
that
know those
point.
kids that opened the Nintendo 64 at Christmas? That was kind of you when you saw the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. You were like,
Yeah. I remember as a kid watching Ghostbusters, and this is when I was really little, and I guess I didn't really like at the time get it as much when I was that little, but I loved the movie just because of that scene when the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man comes out. I thought it was hilarious as a kid. And I still think it's hilarious. I think it's one of the more ridiculous because that movie it was like in any other movie having a giant Stay Puft Marshmallow Man all of a sudden show up would just ruin the movie.
So in the research for today, I was watching some video essays on just Ghostbusters in general, and there was this one guy that was essentially talking. I think his name was Patrick Williams, and he did a whole video that was essentially like, Ghostbusters is the only movie that is literally about nothing.
Yeah.
No one evolves. Like, there is no point. There's
Other than
nothing.
Sigourney Weaver and Bill Murray kind of having.
But they're not. It's like,
but it's never like
they're
a
the same-
finalized.
The only thing that they came up with was
Yeah.
that she learned to like stand him more. He's still a giant jerk at the end of the day, though.
Yeah.
like that's still
It's still-
like his,
so
his thing. It's the only movie, but like it's kind of like Seinfeld. Like they kind of revel in
Yeah.
the lack of
It's-
like it's not like about like
Yeah.
science versus religion, or there's
Very
like
like postmodern, I guess you could even say. Like there's just really not like a. It's just there.
It's just there,
There's not really
right.
an overall
but
destination.
it's
they're
incredibly
going.
entertaining and wildly successful.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's just hilarious. The scene itself, when it's like there's like the cryptic message, from what is it, Gozer, the
Oh yeah.
Gozer the Gozerian or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like thinking about it. They're like, oh wait, no, okay, so whatever pops in our head. And then you just look at Dan Aykroyd just standing there with his eyes real big. It just cracks me up. They're like, what did you do, Ray? What did you do? But when you think about it, it's like
I identify with the Ghostbusters.
if someone told you, don't think about anything, you're gonna think about something ridiculous like right off the bat. I would at least.
Right.
And he does, and it's relatable. And they're all normal guys who don't have any idea what they're doing other than the fact that they're good at science, but they
Well, they're all good at science, but do they like even need science? Like,
yeah,
at this point?
they very much like they have the scientific knowledge, but they go into everything just sort of like, well, we're gonna
let's go try this.
Yeah, like they walk up like 50 flights of stairs to get to the top to get to that thing, and then just kind of have zero plan whatsoever. They just have their little machines. So
they just roll with it.
I feel like that would be me. I would just be like, you know what? Like we're gonna give it the
gonna
old
go.
college try, but maybe who knows? We could all die. I don't know.
Yep.
So Yeah, and then the Slimer, I think,
So
is what
we kind of like, I guess, challenged each other. We wanted to do a Ghostbusters episode, and so we were thinking of ways that we could do it. And so we were each tasked with coming up on some like real world inspirations and like ideas, and just kind of like normal, the normal situation when it comes to us for both Slimer and the Stay Puff Marshmallow Man. So I want to start off, and then the point of it is we're supposed to give our findings, and at the end of it we're going to have a little debate and see who would win in a fight. And I'm curious of how that will go down, because a lot of this information we're just going to pull from what we tell each other. Yeah. And then feel free to come on Discord, Twitter, whatever, and think about who you want to win in a fight. Or
I could lie about all of this, and you never know.
You never know unless you did the research. It's part of it. All right. Austin, what have you got for me for this fellow known as the Stay Puff Marshmallow Man?
I think we should start with the Slimer, because I actually more so just have... I took the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and more so was like, what else would be terrifying? Okay. Because the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man himself, it's pretty self-explanatory. He's just he's a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yes.
It's in the name. He's a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yes.
And overall, it all stems from the fact that Ray is told by Gozar the Gozerian, second of his name, that he...
Sorry, we need to make sure we do correct.
They're told not to think of... Like, whatever you think of will be sort of the destroyer of the world.
Like a tulpa.
Yeah, and so he thinks, accidentally, he's like, it just popped in there. He says something... about roasting, it was. I should know this off the top of my head. He said, I couldn't help it. It just popped in there. And then he said, I tried to think of one of the most harmless things, something I loved from my childhood, something that could never, ever possibly destroy us. Mr. Stay Puft. We used to roast Stay Puft marshmallows on the fire at Camp Wakanda. That's like just something about that scene. So I didn't really know what angle to take with it, because it's not really like there's like destroyer of the world, blah, blah, blah. But I have, after you talk about the Slimer, I have something fun I want to discuss that I think other people could jump in on a discussion with.
So Slimer, I actually found it to be pretty dry, coming from Slimer. So it's first shown, and it's not even named Slimer in the first film. It's just like, it's just a ghost that they get. But the idea was that they were going to create a ghost that was like Bluto in Animal House. Mm-hmm. So that's the John Belushi character. And oftentimes in production, and Dan Aykroyd several times afterwards would refer to the ghost as the ghost of John Belushi, which I thought makes sense for Slimer. So I have on here in the notes, he eats a lot and he haunts a hotel. Yeah. Well, that's quite informative. So... he runs into Peter Venkman in the first film and leaves him covered in ectoplasm, which I will get to that. And on the set, they refer to him as the onion head ghost or the potato ghost, just because of, one, he was smelly like an onion, and two, his head was shaped like a potato. So they named the ghost Slimer in the real Ghostbusters cartoon as sort of a series mascot. So they didn't have the idea for it until they made the cartoon. Yeah. And then they came out and they were like, okay, we need to name this. And then when they did Ghostbusters 2, they tried to incorporate more of what the cartoon did into it so that they can like have a thing. And so they had this like whole subplot for Slimer, and they ended up cutting a lot of that for him. But he was only like in like, he had like 2 major scenes in the movies.
Wasn't he driving a bus or something like that?
I think so.
Yeah.
But he had like a whole subplot originally planned for that, but they had to cut it because they
didn't want to go overboard with it, I guess.
Right, they don't want to get all slimy. So there's 2 theories of where like the origin of this ghost, like the Slimer ghost, came from. So the first one is from in the comic books. They go to explain that he is this old king named King Ramills, which Ramills backwards is Slimer, and that he just ate a bunch until he died. And then Peter Venkman went back in time and convinced him to stop eating, but then there was no Slimer ghost to help him, and so then they had to fix that somehow. I tried to get into this comic book situation. It didn't work out. The better version was Paul Feig, who's one of the writers for the new Ghostbusters movie, the one with Kate McKinnon and Melissa McCarthy, said that he wrote out an origin story and they were going to play it, but it got cut from the movie. It was like fully scripted, ready to go.
Yeah.
It said that he was a gangster that would frequent a restaurant and demand food. A waiter ticked him off and he killed the waiter. So the gangster was sent to jail and executed, and he came back to essentially haunt the restaurant and eat the food. So when the Ghostbusters first arrived, this Kate McKinnon and group, I say Kate McKinnon because she's great. When the Ghostbusters first arrive, they shoot the ghost with their, what is that, proton beams or whatever.
You don't
Whatever
cross
they
the
are.
stream.
I've gone back and forth with what they are. I've read a lot about Ghostbusters, so please excuse me.
Yes.
They shoot him, but the beams are too hot at this ghost, and so they burn off his legs.
Yeah.
And then the ghost becomes bloated to look like Slimer.
Okay.
So I'm like,
Is Slimer a social commentary on gluttony?
I'll get to that
Okay.
here in a bit. Yeah. So first, I was like, how do I do this? How do I go and like figure out what is going on with him? It's like, okay, so obviously he's slimy. That's number one. And he covers Peter Venkman in ectoplasm. And then he also eats a lot.
Yeah.
But then he might be a gangster. So I started with the gangster thing, and I looked up gangster ghosts. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of gangster ghosts. Fun fact. Yeah. There's a lot of people killed by gangster ghosts. Which I am not surprised about. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, let me shorten that search so it's like just New York. New York, no gangster ghosts, a lot of people that are killed by gangsters. Also learned Anderson Cooper's house in New York, haunted by a fireman that hung himself. So there you go.
He has enough money to move. Why would he not move?
Because he likes living in this old firehouse and it looks cool.
I don't understand that. I will never understand living in a house that's haunted.
He likes it. You know, it brings excitement to his life.
He works for CNN. He gets to go all over the place.
Well, you know, that doesn't lead that exciting of a life, as you know, when he's out covering literally everything.
Yeah, whatever.
So
each his own.
That lead became absolutely nothing. I didn't find anything. However, I started down this the train of ectoplasm, which I was very curious about, which I have no clue other than it's like a gooey substance that Slimer lived. That's like, and the fact that they had the Ecto 1 was kind of the, you know, the car, and it's like, oh, ectoplasm, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
So my first search result was this YouTuber. It was like the classic YouTuber, like the "What's up, guys? I'm here. We're gonna put a like and subscribe down.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button.
Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe."
And he was like, "We're gonna make some fluffy slime at 3 a.m." And so this dude has these 2 cans of barber salt, and he's squirting them into this pan. And he it's like all like heavily lit. Like this dude has like 14 million subscribers. Like this is like a YouTuber.
Yeah.
Like through and through.
Yeah.
And then he has these electronic candles all around where he's making the slime. And so he's pressing out the slime. And I got to the point of the video where the candles mysteriously go out. And he's like, oh no, what kind of slime did we make? We made it at the witching hour. Oh no, what kind of slime?
You're like, okay, well, I'm going to shut my computer now, I guess.
So I decided that I wanted to go a little more, what's a good word? Researched. You know, highbrow.
Research-based
ectoplasm study. So what ectoplasm is spiritual energy externalized. There's nothing that says that it's slime. It's just spiritual energy externalized.
So like any sort of like a physical like ghost?
It is predominantly formed by physical mediums, so like a seance or Long Island medium or whatever you are, when they're in a trance state. So it's like evidence of something spiritual happening.
Okay.
So ectoplasm, on many occasions, has been proven to be fraudulent. Many mediums had used methods of swallowing and regurgitating cheesecloth, textile products, smoothed with potato starch, and in other cases, the ectoplasm was made from paper, cloth, and egg white or butter muslin. So this was like a proof.
This is getting wild, man.
This is a proof that mediums were cool or like were with it back in the early 1900s.
Are you cool, man? Are you cool?
Late 1800s by producing this ectoplasm whenever they did their little bits.
Oh, so it was like just an illusion.
It was like, this is
fraud.
the ectoplasm that the ghost left when they were here.
What is that?
This is evidence of ghosts.
They're
Look at
all
this
like-
cheesecloth I just vomited up.
They're like holding hands around the table. She's like, all right, I can sense something. And then there's like her like cousin Billy's like behind the curtain, like throws a bunch of stuff onto the table.
Yep.
And then
Or
it's like,
like in
oh.
some things they'll be holding hands and then they'll just start barfing up cheesecloth. And then people are like, what the heck is going on? And then after they're done barfing up the cheesecloth, then they'll be like, it's your father.
hey, look, it's your dad.
Yeah.
Look at him.
So
Well,
there was
that's
this
disgusting.
There was this lady named Eva Carrier that claimed she could conjure ectoplasm to create an image. So, like, she could conjure it and it would create an actual image rather than just being like goop or whatever.
Yeah.
So, reporter Donald West investigated that the images that she conjured were two-dimensional faces that had been clipped from the back of magazines, which included Woodrow Wilson, King Ferdinand of Bulgaria, and various other modern popular pop culture figures in the 1920s. So this lady was literally just like crumpling up some magazine paper, be like, "Look at this ectoplasm," and it's like a face of Woodrow Wilson. It's like, what is
Nobody, like, it took that guy to tell everybody that it's like Franz Ferdinand or like Woodrow Wilson.
Yes.
Well, whatever.
So a
People,
Danish,
people really were dumb, I think. Like, it's
they
just.
were like, "Look at this thing." It's like stage effects. I guess we're so like involved in a world of like sound effects and stage effects and like digital effects and all
Yeah.
this stuff that it's like when we see stuff that's out of the ordinary, like we have to make up an explanation for it. And like it's like back in the day, it's like if you saw a cell phone, what would you call that?
I sometimes, like, if I buy something new, like a new phone or like some new piece of technology, sometimes I randomly will think, like, what if you brought someone from like 1815
Yeah. What if
to
you, like, somebody
2019 for
smart?
like 10 minutes? Or even like in my car, I have like the middle console with like the like backup camera and like digital this.
Yeah.
I'm like, what would someone just 10 minutes into 2019 and they go back? They're gonna think it's all like witchcraft, like weird, like
If I go to a seance and they start barfing up cheesecloth,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, that's totally ectoplasm and they're totally possessed by a demon. I think even today, if they
It
go
would still be
through
weird.
that,
yeah.
I'm gonna be like, hold up a minute.
That one I will give them. That one is pretty weird, and that's actually that's clever. It's gross, but it's clever.
It's clever.
The
And-
one with the newspaper thing, that's stupid.
Yeah.
You stupid. If you
Well,
fell
these-
for that, you're stupid.
It was particularly popular in Europe.
Ah.
Ectoplasm was the thing that was big then.
True.
So Danish medium. Oh yeah, this is one. Danish medium Mina Crandon, known for producing an ectoplasm hand, was known for producing an ectoplasm hand from her stomach, which waved in the darkness. So it was like the hand in Poltergeist, that kind of comes out to TV and swats and grabs at things. So biologists examined this hand and found out that it was just carved animal liver that she had like puppeted up to move about
That rascal.
and wave.
Little rascal.
Little rascal. And then I looked into all this ectoplasm stuff, and then I looked into ichor,
Yeah.
just because it was in the search results, and it also reminded me of icky, which is kind of what I think about Slimer. And it turns out that ichor, I didn't know what ichor was. It is God's blood. So like when a hero goes to like kill a beast or something, they may drink some ichor, which is like the blood of Zeus, and they will gain powers and such, which is not related to Slimer, I don't think. The other thing that got me thinking about was Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
So in the new Luigi's Mansion, are you familiar with the classic GameCube game?
I played it.
You played it. So you're okay. He's walking around. He's got a vacuum,
Yeah.
and he gets ghosts, much similar to the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
So in the new one, he has a partner that you can play as a second character named Guigi, who is an ectoplasm version of Luigi. So now I'm going to be thinking about while I play this game that it's like vomit Luigi.
You done
Just
messed
lumbering
up.
around.
You done
It's
ruined it
like,
for yourself.
I'm animal liver Luigi.
Yeah.
I'm here to help out.
Just
It's like-
wandering down the hall.
it brings a whole nother level to Guigi.
It does. No,
for
it
me.
does.
So that was my trip into ectoplasm. The next thing I have are hungry ghosts, which I learned are a thing. That there are a ton of hungry ghosts, and it's a whole big worldwide, well, not particularly worldwide, more like an East Asian kind of thing.
Yeah.
So hungry ghosts are the demon-like creatures described in Buddhist, Taoist, Hindu, Sikh, and Jain. I'm probably butchering all those names. Texts as the remnants of the dead who are afflicted with insatiable desire, hunger, or thirst as a result of bad deeds or evil intent carried out in their lifetimes. One story is of a rich man who traveled selling sugar cane juice. One day, a monk came to his house looking for some juice to cure an illness. The man had to leave, so he instructed his wife to give the monk the drink in his absence. Instead of doing this, she secretly urinated in the monk's bowl, added sugarcane juice to it, and gave it to the monk. The monk was not deceived. He poured the bowl out and left. When the wife died, she was reborn as a hungry ghost. I thought that was the weirdest,
That is like...
it's like...
It's like, oh, I'm going to get him.
I'm gonna
I'm
get
going to
him.
get her. All right, I see. Yeah.
And then it's like, they poured it out of the bowl and left. Years later,
Just
woman
leaves.
dies. You know what? You peed in a bowl and you try to feed it to somebody, so now you're a hungry ghost.
So now you're a hungry ghost. You know what, you little rascal? That's what you get. That's what you get. That is an interesting story.
So the 7th month of the Chinese calendar holds a Hungry Ghost Festival, according to tradition. During this month, the gates of hell are opened up, and the hungry ghosts are free to roam the earth where they seek food and entertainment. These ghosts are believed to be ancestors of those who had forgotten to pay tribute to them after they died. They have long, thin necks because they have not been fed by their families. Tradition states that families should offer prayers to their deceased relatives and burn, quote, hell money. It is believed that, quote, hell money is a valid currency in the underworld and helps ghosts to live comfortably in the afterlife. People also burn other forms of joss paper, such as paper houses, cars, and televisions, to please the ghosts. So
It's getting weirder and weirder,
well,
man.
I got there and I was like, I could go probably all day on this hungry ghost business. So it seems like it's just like spirits that like were bad. I was expecting like spirits that were like gluttonous. It's like, no, this lady just like peed in the bowl.
She's just a little trickster. That's, yeah, I got a little weird there.
But it's like a common, like hungry ghosts are like a common thing depicted in Eastern religions, which I think is interesting.
Well, as weird as it was, I respect the effort. You went down that rabbit hole and found that.
Yes. I also thought that it was kind of like The Walking Dead, like maybe the Americanized version is like zombies of that.
Yeah.
And I have one last thing to talk about ghosts that like to eat. What do ghosts eat for supper?
What?
Spaghetti.
I hate you so much. Oh my god. I want to like throw up after that. That was like the epitome of. That's pretty good. I'll give you that.
Spaghetti. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That was one of the things that I found in this. I went down some rabbit holes to find this goodness.
I thought that was going to be like one of those like boobies.
Boobies.
Like, I forgot what the question to that is, but boobies.
Yeah, what's some Halloween. Oh,
Who
boobies.
knows? Something about allergic to something. They're allergic to what type of bees are they allergic to? Ghosts allergic to?
Boobies, yeah.
Boobies.
Haha.
Heard that in like first grade, but yeah.
All right. Let me hear about
So I took I didn't go down a rabbit hole.
Well, it's all
I went
about-
down a rabbit hole of my own mind.
Okay.
More
I mean,
so.
that's more fun, I think.
We thought about the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and how ridiculous
Yes.
the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man becoming 350 foot tall
Right.
monster being.
Is the so there's no like Stay Puft brand marshmallows like in real life, right?
No, there is.
There is?
Yeah.
What's this? Are they just marshmallows or is it something special? about it?
I'm pretty sure it's just Stay Puft Marshmallows. I don't know if I think that there used to be like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I don't think they do that anymore, but I could be wrong. I
It's
don't
like
know
the
if there ever
Michelin
was
Tire
an
Man?
actual Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. But so I started thinking, okay, and we kind of discussed this. What other like company mascots would be absolutely horrifying
Yeah.
in that form of coming to destroy your city?
Yes.
And so I put a list together here.
I'm ready for the list.
Number one, literally any of the Chuck E. Cheese animatronics. Think about this. Think about seeing like the like eyes that are like closing and opening, but like you can tell it's like just the slits that open and close, and then like rocking very weirdly in sync, like up and down and back and forth.
Oh, that's
like
funny.
bending over. All right, because those used to give me nightmares.
Well, they have those at the Huntington Mall, you know.
At Billy Bob's and right next to the mall, they are like 30 years old, falling apart,
And
even
they're
more
like-
horrifying.
Yeah, it's like kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, they're
kinda
in like
situation.
80s attire still. So
Oh,
there's
no.
that. Then I thought about the Michelin Man and how similar, as to what you just said,
Yeah.
he is to the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
He's like kind of like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man's
Yeah.
like long lost cousin.
Yeah. Joe Camel cigarettes.
Joe Camel. Who's Joe Camel?
The camel with the sunglasses on. That's like the Camel cigarettes logo.
I'm familiar with the Camel. I didn't know that
Dude.
he wore sunglasses.
Yeah, Joe Camel in the 90s, big sunglass guy.
Big sunglass
But like
guy.
he freaked me out because like I feel like he just looks like he's gonna steal my girlfriend. Like he's like too cool.
He's like Mr. Studio Girl.
Yeah.
You know?
So I'm like, all right, Joe Camel. And then like I hadn't thought about this in a long time, but the Jolly Green Giant.
oh,
So he's
from,
already
like-
big.
From like the canned foods.
Yeah,
like
he's
the-
already big. So like, what's gonna
Yeah.
happen to him? He's like twice.
I
as
mean,
big
that's
as-
like double big.
yeah, he's buff too.
The
He could
Jolly
probably-
Green Giant Plus.
Stay Puff was slow. Jolly Green Giant looks like he like works out a lot. He's probably pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like quick twitch muscles.
Like he's probably got
fibers.
his body hair is probably turned into a forest, and like you gotta
Dude,
like
you
it's
never
like
know. But he also, here's the thing. He like wears like a loincloth skirt. So like
Yeah.
you're looking up at that, like that's not something you want to
that's
look
not
at.
something you want to see. And if you're in, if it's a large, it's
To be fair, actually, I kind of would want to see it.
I
I'm
mean,
not
it's-
like.
we're all kinda
I'll be
curious.
honest.
We're
We're
all
all
kinda-
friends here. I would actually probably like be like, you know what? That's impressive.
That's
pretty cool.
Jolly
Good for-
Green Giant.
Good for you, Jolly Green Giant. Let's see, Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean.
He
is
scares
kinda
me as it
terrifying.
is. So like, as a giant, bald, all white,
Right.
everything, like gonna scare me probably.
Right. I think about Hitman. You know, like the
Yeah,
video game.
yeah, he's like the old
It's
version
like
of-
very like bald head, like very like
Yeah.
androgynous kind of face, where it's like he is just. It's like kind of like Slender Man. It's kind of like Slender Man.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think
Yeah.
that it is. I don't know. So there's that. This one's kind of self-explanatory, but the Kool-Aid Man.
Oh yeah.
He's going to cause some damage. He's going to do some damage pretty quickly, just
Hmm.
busting through buildings. The Hamburger Helper Hand.
You know, that is kind of creepy.
He's weird.
Yeah, he's got that little
He's-
face, and now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking about it.
He, the Hamburger Helper Hand, like he's always smiling. It looks like just very like a like just
And like,
a-
what happens when he grabs something? And his face is right there. Does he bite it?
What does he do?
What is he?
There was what was that game that you were a hand?
Are you talking about? Are you talking about Glover right now?
Glover,
Are
yeah.
you totally talking about Glover,
Glover.
on the Nintendo 64?
Yeah, Glover.
Heck yeah, dude! That game was crazy.
So-
you had the ball, and you had to
Yeah.
like dribble the ball, and it was impossible to control.
Yep.
And it's like you
Glover
had to
was
like
a
shoot
game.
the ball, and you had like marbles and bowling.
I think I had it on PC and it was really difficult.
It's tough.
This one's similar to Stay Puft. Pillsbury Doughboy. He's so cute and innocent
He's so cute.
until he's big and he's destroying your city.
Yeah.
With
So when
rage.
you like poke him, is he like?
I think it has to be technically. Do you remember the Quiznos, like the little sponge monkey things that would like sing the songs that were really creepy?
No, I do
Dude,
not remember
If
those.
you listen, look them up. Everybody, if you don't remember, they were like they had these like weird little like gritty voices, and they would sing about Quiznos in the early 2000s. Those, when you look it up, you'll see why. They're
Okay,
terrifying.
I'm gonna look, let's all make a note, and we're all gonna go look up the sponge monkeys from Quiznos.
So, the Hamburglar and or Grimace. Grimace was just like a big
is more
purple
creepy.
blob.
Yeah, Grimace
Yeah.
is definitely freaking.
Because he
creepy.
just looks like he's like Barney without
What
the
does he
nose.
do? What's he there to do? Like obviously we know the motivations of Hamburglar. It's to get the hams and the burgers.
Yeah. So, but Grimace would be pretty creepy.
I used to. That was like a Halloween costume that I have like on hand. It's like one of those like on hand. If I need a Halloween costume
Yeah.
in a pinch, I immediately can become the hamburger at a drop of a hat. I can immediately transform
You
into
should
the
be the
hamburger.
Hamburglar this year.
Well, I
would
was
actually
been the
pay money.
Hamburglar several years. Well, last Halloween I dressed
I
up
need
as
to see
Steve
that.
Harrington and busted into your apartment and
Yeah, you
drinking a
did.
cider,
I was-
and then I busted out.
That's true. I was playing Red Dead. I remember this.
Yeah.
So the Hamburglar or Grimace. And then last on my list, Jared from Subway.
I was about to say that's
Too
the
soon?
scary.
Too
That's the
soon?
scariest.
That's the scariest
That's
one.
the scariest.
Just
one.
walks in. And you're like walking through the city, but he's got his pants like he's holding And like his old pair of pants off to the side, still showing how large they are. You could like fit the Statue of Liberty
And it's
two of them inside of the pants.
Right, and then him just being a gigantic pedophile.
But it's the whole like large like Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
I have some thoughts of people like the Burger King, the King.
Oh, with like
with the face and everything.
That would be creepy.
That would be.
Do you remember the one where he was like sitting by the fireplace with his shirt off?
Yeah,
that was weird.
Do you remember the game that they made called Sneak King?
I think so.
And they gave it. I think they gave it away at Burger King, and it was like you snuck around the neighborhood and like gave people Whoppers or something like that. I played it. It was like a demo or something.
I feel like
but
you're like this.
You're like doing like the classic cartoon sneaking like throughout most of the game.
That one was weird. Remember the lips for Dairy Queen? It was like just the floating lips. That would be weird because it would just devour everything. That's like a black hole.
But there's some of them that it's like not as creepy. Like the Wendy's girl. I want to be. It's like not as.
She's just like frolicking around.
She's just like hanging out. Yeah.
I don't know. It's.
I mean, and there's also what's the Philadelphia Flyers mascot?
Gritty.
Yeah,
Gritty would be the ultimate terrifying. Just like googly eyes flopping
that's
everywhere.
The one that's like got all that orange fur, and he's like,
oh my God.
It's like a mutated Muppet.
Yeah. If you've never looked at Gritty, just look up Gritty NHL. And it'll be the first mascot that pops up. And picture that in like giant form, just running down your street. You would be terrified.
But I don't know a lot about sports, but I can identify the team that Gritty belongs to.
Gritty is Gritty is Gritty. But I think I thought about it. There are so many mascots over the years that would just be terrifying. Oh yeah, absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. Well, then there's like the whole like '90s was like a mascot craze.
Do you remember the California Raisins? Like the little like jazz band of like raisins?
Oh yeah, and they had the raisins and they had the little toys you could get that were like little tiny raisins. Yep. Yeah, those things are weird.
McDonald's had the like McNuggets that were like little like talking nuggets. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was something too. I'm like going down memory lane right now.
Yeah, just thinking about the 90s, like the
Trix Rabbit was like
all of the cereal people were creepy.
The Lucky Charms guy. That guy.
He's still creepy.
Still weird.
I remember because, when you have nephews or whatever, the children's TV gets put on. And so you have commercials for cereal, which I haven't watched the commercial for cereal until I started watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse or whatever, which is in itself a terrifying show. And let me tell you how terrifying the Mickey Mouse show is right now. Have you seen the Mickey Mouse show right now? So the Mickey Mouse show has Toodles in it. Toodles is an AI manufactured by Mickey Mouse to run his entire house while he's there. And he has to get these tools or go search for the things to find the problem. He is essentially creating this gigantic AI, artificial intelligence, Skynet character in his house run all this stuff. Not including when they go to Mars and they meet their doppelgangers that talk in a funny language and are different colored from them.
Is this the show that they have like the hot diggity dog?
Oh
like
my God, yes. Yes.
It's the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Come inside, it's fun inside. You just unlocked a portion of my brain of memories that I did not know were suppressed.
Mickey Mouse always goes, hot dog, diggity dog. That's what he says every time.
You've been working on that one.
Let me tell you something.
That was good.
I'm a practice.
No, I was impressed. It was good.
The theater is where I belong, Austin.
Potion seller.
Potion seller. Sell me your potions.
I'm so glad you showed me
your
that
potions are not strong enough.
I am.
You should look that up. Go look up Potion Seller on YouTube. That's quite a deep cut into all of this. Yes. So I think we've gone far enough away to come back to it. Who do you think would win in a fight? The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man or Slimer?
Well, I think we need to clarify. Is the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man like a normal size or is he giant?
He is giant.
Okay,
he's the giant Stay Puft Marshmallow.
I'm going to keep it real with you, man. Mm-hmm. I don't think Slimer's got a shot.
Here's the thing. Now listen to me. Slimer has an insatiable hunger.
Okay,
he wants
does.
to eat everything.
So you think he's going to eat the Stay Puft Marshmallow
Man? So the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, you know what he's made of?
Marshmallow.
Big old
I'm assuming marshmallow.
I mean, I'm assuming. I haven't looked into the anatomy
Yeah.
of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, but I would assume that he is just a bunch of giant marshmallows.
This just made me think about when he's like on fire when they're like shooting at him.
Yes.
And his face like goes from like smiling to like, oh, his like eyebrows go down. Oh, what a terrifying thing to see. I still don't hear. There's a. Let's think about this.
I've thought about this a lot today, and it's like an immovable. What is it? An unrelenting force meets an immovable object.
I still think the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man wins in 4. Like if it's a 7-game series, he's winning. He's winning in 4.
But I think he may have like initial winnings, but
I just don't.
Slimer's got an insatiable hunger. It's like imagine that there's this like tick that's like slowly and quickly eating off like pieces of your body.
I guess it's like how do you kill something that's already dead?
That's true.
But at the same time, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, that's a big boy. That's a big boy.
That's a big boy.
I think he can handle himself.
As the kids say, absolute unit.
Absolute unit. He's chonky.
Chonky.
Yeah. I don't know.
I like to use chonky when I discuss salamander fingers and also my dogs.
But let's say that he eats. He's like, oh, I'm gonna eat him, and he grabs him and eats him. And then I guess to what you're saying, Slimer can just
but it's all dependent on Stay Puft anatomy. So that's the question I have for our listeners: is who do you think would win in a fight? Would it be Stay Puft Marshmallow Man or Slimer? And we're gonna need your reasons.
When we started this podcast, I never would have imagined we would one day on an episode have this conversation. Who would win in a fight, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man or Slimer?
Let me tell you, as Lindsay Lohan once said, the limit does not exist.
The limit does not exist to what we will do on this podcast. So there's that.
So in our next segment, we have a message from our listener that wants us to check out something. I'm going to hand this over to you.
Okay. Do you think you have low T? Me too. Well, that's why our friends at Roman have partnered with us. All right. Is it Pyramid Lake?
Yeah.
Info?
And it's just, so what I have there, just before you even start, what I have there is his comment is in black.
Should I not read the comment?
You should read the comment because that's from him. And then it'd be like, we went in and investigated it. This is what we found, and it's front and back. So everything on the back.
Cool.
And front.
Okay. All right. So today's field correspondence. Is that what we're calling it? We'll just, okay. So today's story comes from, is it Hero Zero?
What does it say?
Scrap that. Is that the guy's, is that what the guy's
that
name?
would be the username.
Okay.
I'll focus on usernames because nobody likes using their real name.
All right.
A bunch of wusses.
So we got a question from username Hero Z05. And it goes, have you all heard about the water babies in Pyramid Lake? It's an urban legend of sorts, Pyramid Lake in Nevada. I'm sure you could find some info all over the internet. I live very close. It's always just been a thing that the natives used to drown their unwanted babies in that lake. And if you disrespect it or something like that, they will get you. That sounds terrifying. Also, want to notice I said Nevada.
Look at you using you're like right there culturally with it.
All of my friends from Nevada, I used to call it Nevada. I've been absolutely I've been in trouble with a lot of them. They got on me for years, and I used to do it as a joke. So if you say Nevada, don't say Nevada because you're stupid and you're wrong. It's Nevada.
Now we know.
And now you know. Wasn't that a thing too back in the day? It was like, now you know, because it's my super short show. Remember that on Disney Channel?
I do not. I did not have Disney Channel.
Well. Sorry, broke boy.
Yeah. I had Nickelodeon. I had to watch SpongeBob like the rest of them.
Okay. So you typed this out.
I did. Is it wrong?
No. It's impressive information that I'm going to read here.
Okay.
I appreciate you letting me read it. I feel like I'm part of the show when I do stuff like this.
I'm happy to do it.
Because typically, you lock me under the stairs and then bring me up.
I only let you out to record this podcast, and then
this is the only daylight. We're running out of daylight. This is the last of the daylight that I'll have probably for another week. So, because it's back to the basement. All right. So the Americas are home to some pretty epic urban legends, abandoned ghost towns, haunted southern cities, and the like. But the tales that surround Nevada's Pyramid Lake is one that, especially if you live anywhere near the area, just might keep you up at night. Some believe that the stories that involve Pyramid Lake in the great state of Nevada are just silly fables told to children to keep them away from the water. Still, the allure of this scenic place is strong, and it gets its name from the unusual pyramid-like shaped rocks that jut out from the cool and tempting waters. These waters reach impressive depths of over 350 feet, but the eerie legends that surround the beautiful lake have more to do with what lies beneath. Every year, a number of bizarre and unexplainable events occur, especially during springtime, and include hearing the cries of the lost water babies and a countless number of fishermen that set out on these waters, never to return home. There are a number of tales that try to give a reason to the phenomenon of the haunting sounds and the missing people. Two legends in particular are most commonly told by the locals, one of which is referred to as the legend of the water babies and begins with the Native American Paiute tribe, who were said to have thrown malformed and premature babies into the dark and murky waters to drown in an effort to keep the tribe strong, keeping only the children who would grow to be capable and useful members of their tribe. And so the story goes that the shrieks and the cries that are heard late into the night are the ghosts of the drowned babies of the tribe. Another rendition of this haunting fable involves a Paiute tribesman and a mermaid from Pyramid Lake who fell madly in love, only to have the union rejected from the tribe. The heartbroken mermaid was exiled from the lake by the Paiute tribe, but not only did she not leave, she remained there in growing fury, cursing the waters and seeking vengeance on any man that attempted to enter her lake. This, of course, would explain all of the missing fishermen. Some believe that this version of the story was concocted by the Paiute tribe themselves in an effort to repair their name and cover up the savage and despicable actions of drowning their own babies. Still, who can really be sure if these urban legends hold any validity? Like all stories of this nature, the only real proof is to experience the place for yourself. Perhaps it is a made-up tale to keep the town's children safe or close to home, or possibly the late-night cries of drowned infants and the missing fishermen are real dangers that should be taken seriously. That being said, I think both of us don't want to test this theory.
No, I don't want to test that theory whatsoever.
I'm terrified of lakes. I don't know if I've ever told you that.
Is it just like the mystery of what's in there?
You can't see anything.
Yeah.
They are really deep, like very deep. I guarantee you so many lakes across the country and across the world, there are so many dead bodies at the bottom of those lakes.
I had a dream about a lake recently. So
Okay.
this is like one of those like weird, like, I had a weird substitute teacher be like, I was on a love boat with Farrah Fawcett last night in my dream. This is similar. I was on a cruise ship going to Portland, Oregon to stay at a resort that would fly us out to Disney World. Facts aren't important. What the fact
Seems
is,
very out of the way.
right. So on the cruise ship was me and the four main characters of the cast of Letterkenny.
Okay.
And there was a point where we were on this gigantic river that runs across the United States, long ways.
Yeah,
Doesn't exist.
as it does.
As
no
it
one
do.
knows about it. No one wants to talk about it.
And a
but it
wave
does.
came because
Yeah.
on the river, there's plenty of waves.
Yeah, tons.
And it rocked the boat so much that it like went down. It bowed down and then shot back up real quick. And I was standing out in the front of the area, and it shot me off into the air. Like I was like, it was like spring.
Yeah.
And then I fell into the lake. And for the amount of like distance that I went into the air, I fell down into the lake. So I was like deep in the lake, and I had to like swim myself out of it.
Yeah.
And I thought I wasn't going to make it.
Yeah.
I thought that I was going to die in this stream.
Yeah.
But one of the cast members from Letterkenny had a lifeguarding license.
Oh, great.
And then
Perfect.
they jumped in, and we like met halfway. And
Yeah, they pulled you up.
That's my lake story.
So lakes there's a lake outside of Atlanta, and I can't remember the name of it for some reason. It's a very popular lake. Why can I not think of the name of the lake? But there have been, in the last few years, several hundred deaths at this lake. And they built this lake over top of this old town, and there were like cemeteries and graveyards.
Why are
in the
there
town.
always lakes built over these towns?
Just like here with Gad, with
Yeah.
Summersville Lake.
Or with Bluestone.
Or Bluestone. Yeah,
Yeah.
there was stuff there too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they built this lake, but they didn't move the cemetery, the grave, any of the graves, anything. They just put the lake on it. And so a lot of people think that it's cursed, like it's haunted. You're disrespecting these people. People go missing on the lake all the time. There are divers that say they'll never dive in that lake again, that they've just seen some stuff. I just don't like I love swimming, But I hate getting in a lake because you feel something touch your foot, and it's like,
What is that?
what is that? You can't even see your hand just under the water. I don't know. I don't like the thought of there's stuff hundreds of feet below me. I don't like that. Not a fan of that.
Especially to a bunch of ghost children and ghost people protecting the ghost children.
Yeah. It's just terrifying. I don't like getting in lakes. I don't mind sitting on the boat in a lake. I don't get in the water.
As long as I have a life vest, I'm cool.
I don't even get. We used to go tubing in lakes and all sorts of stuff. I refuse to now. I won't get in the water. I don't want to. I don't want it. It's creeping me out thinking about it. Anything submerged in water freaks me out. That's why I'm so scared of like sharks and stuff. Pictures of like you can barely see a shark coming up out of water. Literally gives me chills, like the heebie-jeebies. I can't do it. So to think that there are like dead babies come back to life in a lake in Nevada with a mermaid that could pull you under and murder you. I wasn't gonna get in the water as it is, but I'm definitely.
I don't think I'm ever gonna go particularly swimming in Pyramid Lake. That doesn't seem like something that I want to really ever experience.
I don't even want to go
but
fishing.
I'm cool
there.
with it. I'm cool with
you know
lakes.
what? If fishermen go listen, I'm not doing that either. I'm
Not
gonna
doing that.
admire it from the internet. I'm gonna look at pictures of it. It's serene. Wow, beautiful lake. Wow. I'm not getting in it. I'm refused. I'm not getting in that
It's
lake.
not happening.
So yeah, but that's interesting. It's terrifying. I just don't, I would rather get in a pool. Just give me a pool.
Just give you a nice. But what about like Bahamas? Like a nice like clear
The
water,
ocean
like,
and I've swam in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Really good time. We were on this island and they had this like net out.
Oh yeah, where they would like catch all the critters and
So
stuff.
like nothing can come into the on
well,
the beach.
yeah, it's like protected.
Yeah.
Stuff can still come in.
So like they had the boats, and they kept telling us, like sharks can't get in, so you're good to swim, whatever.
Yeah.
So I like swim all the way out to this net. I'm like, I'm gonna swim out there and then swim back, and I get out and it's not a net at all. Not a net, nothing there. Just like a floating kind of line to show the boats not to come in too much further. I have never swam back so fast in my life, but I had the
turning into
Jaws.
Michael Phelps there for a minute.
I had the Jaws theme song in the back of my head the whole time, like
Ryan
just waiting.
Lochte rolling through.
God, dude, I probably broke some speed records. Like I was flying. I was like 15.
It's funny.
I was flying, but it was nice because, again, if I stopped and I could see my feet, I could see everything around me. That doesn't. If I can see it coming,
What about a ghost baby? If you get okay, so here's the scenario: if you're in a completely clear water and you can see a ghost baby coming,
yeah, I'm fine.
you're good.
I could beat the crap out of that ghost baby. How strong? Let's think about it. Okay, how strong can a ghost baby really be?
What if they're biters?
One little boop to the nose, like think about it. I'm saving myself at least like 15 seconds. By that point, I'm hitting like Michael Phelps speeds out of that water. That ghost
adrenaline
baby
starts
probably
pumping.
Doesn't know how to walk because it's an idiot. So I'm just gonna run. Boom, I'm fine. I don't care about the ghost baby. If it's a mermaid, I'm probably gonna care a little bit because she's got the advantage because she can swim.
You got that fin
And
flipper.
yeah. So, but ghost baby, I don't care about ghost. Now it's like takes me back to the argument. Like, how many third graders do you think you could fight all at one time?
Yeah, that's a classic argument.
Yeah, I think I could take at least like 27.
Third graders?
If I run full speed, let's say there's like 27 third graders, they're like, we're gonna kill you. You have to fight us to the death.
Do they have weapons?
No,
Okay,
just
no.
hand-to-hand combat, my specialty.
Okay.
There's 27 of them. I'm getting a run and start, and I'm just going barrel. Just boom,
like-
boom, 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 boom. I'm going to be like full back. I'm just going to, low man wins. Low man always wins. I'm going to get low, hit him, boom, boom, boom. Just be bouncing off of them.
27.
Ghost baby. I mean, it's going to be a tough 27. I'm not saying that I'm 100% going to live.
Uh-huh.
But if someone's like, the more you do, the more points, whatever.
So once they're knocked over, they're done. They're out.
No, I would say just like incapacitated. I'm not gonna say fight to the death because that's a little harsh.
That's
the
real
ghost
harsh.
babies. I'll fight to the death.
Well, I mean, technically, they're gonna fight you to the death because they're already freaking dead.
Guess what? If I get out of that water, those little idiots can't catch me.
Can't get me.
I'm gonna hit some.
Can't
like
tell me
Usain Bolt
nothing.
speed. But the third graders, if I just have to like incapacitate, like they just got to be, you know, like down for the count. I could take 27 to maybe like 30. 30 is probably the top. I mean, that's a lot of
limit.
Yeah, and it depends on their strategy. Third graders are kind of stupid, so like I don't know if they're gonna have like a good strategy to. Sorry if we have any third grade listeners. You'll develop strategic skills eventually.
Strategic skills of taking down
Yeah.
larger mammals.
Yeah. So, but it's like, you know what? Tough luck. They'll learn.
Well, on that note, I say that's about all we have for today.
Not only did we talk about who would win in a fight, Slimer or the Staypuff Marshmallow Man. Now we're talking about
how many
beating
third
up
graders
ghost
Austin
babies and how many third graders could I take at one time.
It's a fight night. Fight night right here. Well, you can always follow us on social media on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at @the_CryptidCast, and you can go to thecryptidcast.net to find links to all of the goodies that we're doing, including our store. You can buy the official CryptidCast t-shirt as well as our Sheep Squatch design, which is pretty cool. I just updated the store, and they're looking pretty nice. That's at thecryptidcast.net. Where else? What else can they do? They can do a lot of stuff. I mean, everyone has limitless potential.
Let us know in the Discord, one, who you think would win in a fight between the Staypuff Marshmallow Man and the Slimer. Let us know any other mascots that we didn't name that would be terrifying or maybe scared
who
you
else
as
is
a child.
Creepy mascot?
Yeah, like let us know some maybe ones we missed that would be good.
Yeah.
Let us know how many third graders you think you could take in a fight all at one time.
Or ghost babies. How many ghost babies?
Yeah, the world is yours. So
Well,
just let us know.
With that, Austin, why don't you lead us out today?
From holler to highway, we've got you covered 6 ways to Sunday.
This podcast was hosted by Dave Chathins and Austin O'Connor. Find them on Twitter at CryptidCastDave and OCO_photo. Music produced by Dave Chathins. Artwork by James Addison. Links to our social media and merch are down in the description below.
You've been listening to a Robots Radio podcast. Smart shows for interesting people. Check out all the shows at robotsradio.net.
Have you ever wondered how deep the Elder Scrolls lore rabbit hole goes? Have you got a grasp of the basics and want to find out more about the universe? Written in Uncertainty is here to help you. We'll be mixing in philosophy, theology, and whatever other theory is useful with Elder Scrolls texts to untangle some of the biggest questions in the series, like what are dragon breaks, how does Chim work, where did the Dwemer go, and more. Check us out at writteninuncertainty.com or find Written in Uncertainty on any podcatcher. Thanks for listening, and catch you later in the Grey Maybe of Tamriel.